My parents took me to a lake when I was 15, tossed me a half-inflated tube, and said, "And quat swim or." My parents took me to a lake when I was 15, tossed me a half-inflated tube and said, "Swim or sink, you ungrateful brat. Prove you are worth something." Then they sped off, blasting music and laughing. I nearly drowned 3 times before a fisherman found me blue-lipped. I told them I was an orphan. Now I am 36, but this morning they realized their terrible mistake. They found my number and started calling 30 times a day. My phone wouldn't stop vibrating this morning. 20 missed calls from an unknown number by the time I got out of the shower. At first, I blocked it. Typical spam tactics, right? But then a text came through from a different number. "Lawson, it's your mother. Please pick up. We need to talk to you." I stared at those words for 5 solid minutes, my coffee going cold beside my keyboard. 21 years of silence, and now this. The irony wasn't lost on me that I was sitting there in my apartment, the place I'd worked my beep off to afford after starting with literally nothing, when they decided to reappear. Look, I need to back up for context. When I tell people I haven't spoken to my parents since I was 15, they usually assume typical teenage drama, maybe some religious disagreement. Trust me, it's not that. What happened at the lake wasn't a disagreement. It was attempted unalive. I was a normal kid, maybe a bit mouthy, definitely going through that phase where everything my parents said annoyed me. But what teenager isn't like that? My dad, Sutton, was always quick to anger, working construction jobs when he could get them, drinking when he couldn't. My mom, Savannah, was more subtle with her cruelty, the type to smile while twisting the knife. That summer was particularly bad. Dad had been laid off again. Money was tight, and I'd made the catastrophic mistake of asking if I could go to summer camp like my friends. This sparked a week-long rant about how ungrateful I was, how I didn't appreciate their sacrifice. Then came that Saturday. Mom woke me up unusually cheerful. "We're going to the lake today, family day." I remember being suspicious but also hopeful. Maybe they were trying, maybe things would get better. The lake was about an hour from our house, not many people around that day. It was overcast, threatening rain. Parked at a secluded spot, and we parked at a secluded spot, and Dad pulled out an old inner tube from the trunk. It was half deflated, barely holding air. I remember him tossing it at me while Mom grabbed the cooler, which I later realized was full of beer, not sandwiches. I was standing by the water's edge when it happened. Dad's hand between my shoulder blades, shoving me forward. I stumbled, fell into water deeper than I expected. And I surfaced sputtering. They were both standing there watching me. "Swim or sink, you ungrateful brat," Dad said. "Prove you are worth something." Mom just smiled that smile, the one that never reached her eyes. I thought it was some kind of twisted joke until they started walking back to the car. I called after them, half laughing, half panicking. That's when Mom turned and took a photo of me in the water. "For the memories," she said. The engine started, the radio